Evening, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode here of WILDMAN Lifts. I'm your host, WILDMAN. Now, on today's episode, I got my warm-ups done, and now I'm going to be doing the circus dumbbell. I'm also going to be doing some med ball something. I might throw it over my shoulder. I might throw it on the ground. I don't know. We'll see which one I decide to pick, and some jump roping as well. It's been a while since I've worked out because, as you know, I hit a major deadlift goal on the axle, and it completely zapped my central nervous system. So today, before I start my deload week, I know that the circus dumbbell is not that hard on my central nervous system. So I'm able to cheat a little bit and kind of see where I'm at weight-wise. So let's pop into today's workout. Let me show you what I got going on. Now for today's riveting workout, I'm going to be doing the circus dumbbell, which is actually kind of cool. I shouldn't be knocking on it. A lot of people don't even know what this is or have never seen this before. Really fun implement to do. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off light and work my way up to a heavyweight, starting with my right arm. You can see which is a little bit different than my left arm. With my right arm, I use a lot more delt in the front rack position. And with the left arm, I actually kind of get it more along my back, behind my neck, because that's my off arm. And my off arm always has a lot of trouble with this implement, but I still train with it anyways to try to make sure I'm even on both sides. And as I'm going up in weight on circus dumbbell, I'm going to attempt, which is actually a bad idea, to do a med ball throw over, which you could see, it's all over the place. So I ended up not doing this. I ended up switching over to a med slam down to kind of keep control over the ball a little bit more. And some jump ropes, because I find that jump ropes is really great for the legs, really good for the shoulder mobility as I'm going up on the circus dumbbell. And it's great conditioning, of course, great way to get your heart going. But it also works on the timing of the circus dumbbell as I'm going up in weight. That's going to be the strength giant set for the day. So it's the end of the month, and I just needed to do a few things. Circus dumbbell was one of the things that I really wanted to do because as I was doing my heavy deadlifts, I was also doing the circus dumbbell in conjunction as my antagonistic movement on the same workout. So now I just kind of want to see where I'm at weight-wise, and as long as I'm around the 130-pound range on both the circus dumbbell and the monster dumbbell from Rogue, I'm A-okay with that. But now you don't necessarily need to be good with your offhand. The circus dumbbell clean and press is kind of like throwing a baseball or shooting a basketball. You're typically going to use your dominant hand, whether it's your left or right. It's the hand that you use the most. So I'm right-handed, so that means that I would want to use my right hand. My right hand should be better at this than my left arm because the stability portion. The stability portion is the part that makes it very difficult for your offhand to do. It's the equivalent of being able to throw a baseball with your offhand or shooting a basketball or throwing a football with your offhand. It's not required. However, if you're pretty decent at it, meaning like if you're left-handed and you could scoop up a baseball with your right and at least pitch it to first, that's going to be really handy when you're playing baseball and you're infielding balls. Making a layup with your offhand is super important in basketball. And being able to pitch the football with your left hand over the offensive line to a receiver is definitely a pro NFL play. This is the same reason why I'm trying to get good with both my arms and not just trying to excel with just my dominant hand. In competition, I would only use my dominant hand for reps because that's how you score points, and there's no reason to try to do that with your offhand. Getting good at both makes it so that you're a well-balanced strength athlete in the strongman world. So now I'm coming up to my top set, which is going to be 130 pounds, and I'm going to attempt to do it on both the right and the left. And like I said, most of it's going to be dependent upon the coordination and the stability that I could do with each shoulder. So you can see with my right arm, the front delt is a lot more dominant in the press because that's where I'm most strongest with my dominant hand. With my offhand, which is my left hand, I got to get it more placed behind my back, which sometimes makes me miss the lift, unlike today, because I was able to hit it today. I was very happy with that. Because usually if I get it behind the back of my head, it's usually rolling around pretty bad. But today seemed pretty good, and I was on target for that. So I feel comfortable because I like to do this just for fun. I like to pull out the Rogue Monster Bell because it's a lot heavier to lift because it's a thicker axle, and there's nothing to keep like your wrist jammed into, so it's very hard to do. But that made it look a whole lot easier with the right hand. The right hand's always the easiest with that. The question is going to be the left. Can the left do something that's very unbalanced, unlike the circus dumbbell? And the answer is yes. I was having a very good day today, as you can see. It's not every day that I can hit my left hand on the circus dumbbell on both this circus dumbbell implement, which is a little bit easier because these guards bleeds into my wrist, and these wrist guards actually protect it from digging in. So I can kind of use that at my advantage. On the monster dumbbell, I don't have any advantage. That thing is thick. It's hard to clean. It doesn't clean as easy as this one, and it definitely doesn't sit right on your shoulders, so it's definitely a lot harder to do. But the main point of it is just to master the technique. It's not about the weight. It's about mastering the technique. And as long as I can hit 130 right now with both arms, that's good. Maybe next time I'll go up a little bit higher and try to see what I can do with my right arm, because my right arm's significantly better at this, because it's like throwing a baseball, just easier. So let's continue on with the workout. And for the variation giant set, I was doing 4 rounds. And this time I'm going to be doing some stone to shoulder, or at least attempt to. Starting off with my lightest stones, and then I'm just going to work my way up. And the ideas with strongman stones is I started with the circus dumbbell, where it was more of an explosive movement. And really it was all going to depend on my shoulder weight and technique once I can get up there. But with the stones, this is a very different kind of movement, which also involves a lot of technique. You may have been able to see me clean a 255-pound log, but I can't do that with the stone. Why? Because the stone is awkward and built differently, and the weight is distributed very unevenly. So although there's a technique to most stones, it's not always going to be the same technique for every stone. Beginning a generalized technique is good, because that's how you're going to build raw power. Because when you get stuck, that's the time that all of your muscles need to work together in order to kind of shimmy it up to your shoulder. Now, I've been working on this stone. This is called the elephant stone, and it was given to me by my father for my birthday. And I still have not been able to get it to my shoulder. Just picking it up was a big challenge altogether. But once I kind of figured that out, where its center of gravity is, then I've just been kind of working with different angles to see how I can get it to my shoulder. And you can see on my 3rd attempt today, I actually got pretty close. So I was very surprised with that, and it kind of shows I need to work on this a little bit more, and I might be able to flip it before my next birthday. And in between the stones, as I was going up, I was continuing to do that same med ball slams and doing the jump rope, just to kind of keep it an even number, as you know I like to do. But it's also, these are just great explosive and conditioning workouts, and it has to do with timing. That's why I do these. Now for the accessory giant set, I kind of felt like my shoulders had already taken a beating. So now I'm just trying to finish off my chest and my triceps. So I'm going to be doing some tricep push-ups on this thing. And I'm also going to be doing some other chest related things, like a chest fly up and some face pulls as well. But just make sure you're doing your accessory movements. Accessory movements are the most important part of training. If you're not doing these kind of movements at the very end of your strength training, then your tendons are going to get weak and they're going to pop off the bone. And trust me, I've had that experience. It's very scary. Always do your accessories. Alrighty, so that's going to conclude it for today's workout. Really appreciate everybody stopping by on this beautiful evening. And I hope that you learned something new and that you enjoyed watching me trying to kill myself on strongman movements. But I think I did pretty good today, so I'm very proud of my effort. Really appreciate everybody stopping by. I'll see you next time. Thank you.